I went to a Knicks watch party at Madison Square Garden on my visit to New York City. I'm not a big sports fan, but I was curious to see how I could use the pictures I took to create a collage. If you have any other ideas for collage themes, be sure to comment and subscribe so I can keep making creative journaling content for you. Okay, let's get started. This is the second page of my new photo journal. When I start off these scrapbook collages, I don't really have a plan in mind. I just know what pictures I want to incorporate and I try to figure it out as I go. This is sort of like a double-edged sword because on one hand, I can just focus on doing however I want and I don't have to stress out about not following my plan. But at the same time, I also don't have a plan, so things will go wrong. But when they do, I usually have a way to figure it out. These cute mini postcards are old drawings of Madison Square Garden as it developed and grew over the decades. The Knicks won that night, so I was able to snap a picture of the team colors decorating a building. I decided to give it an orange outline to bring more contrast against the blue lit court. What I also really liked about the Madison Square Garden Stadium is that it had items on the walls that talked about the history of the stadium and how it looked over the years, sort of like the mini postcards I showed. And I really appreciated that because I learned more about the stadium as we walked through, and during halftime we did a quick little tour, and it was almost like a 2-in-1 experience where you can give yourself a tour of the stadium while you're at an event. And we had done stadium tours before, but usually it's like an area that's separate from the stadium and you don't really get to see it as you're walking in my experience. So this was a very nice way of being able to appreciate not just the game but also the stadium itself. So even though it was a watch party, the fans were very, very excited about the game and they were very interested in what was happening, obviously because I think it was like the first time in a long time that the Knicks had ever reached that point, or they were getting really close to the championship for the NBA. But the fans were yelling, they were jumping, they were screaming, they were so excited after the game, and it really just livened up the area. And I will say there's no celebrating like the Knicks fans. You'll notice I don't really use a lot of scrap paper from my trip or junk items, and that's because I have a separate junk journal. If I grab enough paper junk on my trip, it gets memorialized in my junk journal. If I only have pictures, like in this case, it goes in my photo journal. That's how I decide what goes where. I was able to get this shot when we finally arrived at our seats. I wrote the team's nickname and did a cutout that covered the picture of the stadium. I will say I was at a little bit of a loss when trying to figure out the layout for this page. I wasn't really sure what to put around the picture of the stadium, but I didn't want it to be too loud, and I also wanted it to still flow between the 3 other pages. So I just decided for a smaller, simpler pattern and figured I could probably use that to make it less in my face. If you want to hear more about my trip, I'll be releasing a video of all my New York City spreads detailing what we actually did next month. Be sure to subscribe for more journaling and cute vlogs, and leave a comment for any spreads or projects you want me to do. I ended up finishing the spread on another day, but you can see how I added more basketball elements like balls, stars, and nets. These smaller patterns of colored elements around the page give it more life while not making it too cluttered or busy. For the flip page, I drew Jalen Brinson on the back. Thank you!